Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Midday Update. I am Laz, coming at you from the home office here. A little bit of a pause day. We saw a lot of enthusiasm yesterday in the S&Ps. A lot of breakouts occurred yesterday. Market was just strong all day, had a bid. We talked about it in yesterday's video. You know, the averages pointing higher. Everything still points to higher. Tough, very, very difficult tape to fight. You don't want to fight this tape right now. There's always little, pullbacks and intraday type trades if you're looking for, shorts, but you're really going after crumbs at this point, as the short side of the market just doesn't seem to really have any enthusiasm other than just a couple of stocks, and we'll cover those. But let's take a look here at the S&Ps. Pop over to my charts. This is the daily. We talked about this yesterday. I recommend going back to yesterday as we talked about upper boundaries and bigger time frames. But right now, just taking a breather, really not much of, there's really no enthusiasm. There hasn't been much enthusiasm since the open. So the market just sort of pausing, which is not all that uncommon after you get a nice thrust up. It's not too uncommon to see sort of pauses or digestions or congestion of price here. So that seems to be what the market's doing on this summer Friday. I expect that this may continue for the better part of the session. Really not a whole lot of opportunity here. If we look at specific names, all eyeballs were on Apple today. 644, if I go back in time, you can see that 644, the prior 52-week and all-time highs, we are smack dab on that price here this morning. Market gapping up Apple and just, again, continuing this vertical type move. 8-period MA firmly in control. We saw a couple days of pullback and then, a 2-day pullback earlier in the week, and everything just launching higher. I suspect this trade will go higher, possibly even today. If we look at an intraday chart, here's a 13-minute, very bullish consolidation off of this morning price jump into 644. Made a new high by a few pennies, pulled back, but still a very bullish intraday setup that might take us, possibly into the higher 640 area, if not 650 by, the close or even early next week. At this point, for the shorter term trader, stops would be down here, 641.5. You can see this pullback. This is our pivot. It's still firmly riding these averages, which are pointing higher. So don't fight this one, as this one could close itself into new 52-week highs today. What else is on the radar? Facebook. While the market continues to, push itself higher, and there are very strong symbols out there, this is just something we've covered, at length, continuing to make new lows. You can see these averages firmly in control. It's almost like Apple, but upside down. There's just selling on every bounce. And we are at new all-time lows here in Facebook as we took out the early August lows around 1980. And this stock just probing for downside. And I suspect this might continue for another couple of days here, as usually this is the type of trade that you'll see momentum into the downside, as there's really no support here at all in this stock. So traders looking for opportunity can short bounces, on 34-minute or 55-minute charts, or some of your intraday time frames. So keep an eye on that for lower prices here. I wouldn't be bottom fishing in the stock. There's obviously a lot wrong here in the market, just rejecting the stock at every single level. eBay, another interesting looking chart. eBay on the daily. Let's take a look here at the daily. Breaking out above 46. Tried to get through this level a few times. Clearly breaking out today. And another one of those good intraday, strong looking patterns for those that are intraday traders. This one looking like it wants higher, possibly into 47, 47.50 throughout later today. So we'll see what we get, but there are some really good looking charts on the board today as far as intraday trades. On the daily time frame, there are a lot of other stocks that are sort of mixed. We'll take a look. Let's go back to our dailies and take a look at some banks. Banks. Obviously, the market wants the banks to participate, but the banks are not participating. They're not going down, but they're not necessarily seeing that enthusiasm on the long side that the market's seeing. Goldman Sachs kind of stuck in a range. Could be a good setup for a long, maybe later. JP Morgan, again, not really participating. Actually seeing a little bit of selling today, but nothing worth talking about. Baidu, a stock that broke out yesterday out of a base. Breaking out, a little bit of a consolidation, a little bit of a pullback here. We'd like to see the stock stay above 32 for this breakout to hold. So keep an eye on that. So a little bit of a pause there. And Google, Another strong name, not really in play today, really no intraday range, very, very tight, just sort of taking a breather here, taking a rest. And we'll watch price action there early into next week. So, that being said, right now there are haves, there are have-nots. The ones that are, in play are very in play, looking like they want to continue higher, the eBays and the Apples, and some of the ones that have, really great daily charts. There are others that are just sort of taking a breather, contracting and digesting some of the moves that they've seen. There's opportunity in a lot of different places right now, retail, tech, really across the board everywhere. I'd say banks is the one place that, there's really not a whole lot to do or to say about because they're just not really moving. But there's lots of opportunities. You need to have a real good watch list and a good game plan. Make sure you're tuning into the VTF. Have a great weekend, and I will be back on Monday morning. Take care, everybody.